Muay Thai, the art of 8 limbs. Punches, kicks, knees, and elbows. Anything goes. Known as one of the toughest and most brutal martial arts out there, the national sport of Thailand has come to dominate the world for its powerful combat style. This month, I took on the challenge of learning Muay Thai for 30 days, then put myself into the ring on day 30. I'm starting with no Muay Thai experience at all, so I reached out to Ambush Muay Thai, a gym in Austin, to see if they could help train me.
My name is Elton. I'm head coach with Ambush Muay Thai here in Austin, Texas. It's a pretty extensive art, but I think in 30 days we can find a functional subset, spar some of my fighters, and see how you do.
Uh-oh. Cameraman just gave me a thumbs up. I'm not feeling that.
You're not going to miss that day, right?
We began my very first lesson, and we started with the stance.
Turn it off this way. Left foot steps forward, so we just slightly off our heels. Have your hands piece just slightly above my chin.
The footwork technique is very different than Taekwondo, so I'm getting a little confused.
Yes, there you go. Yep.
Next, Coach Elton shows me how to punch.
And then at the very last second, I'm going to go. Why do you think we wait?
At the end just adds a little bit more power.
All of our striking, we want to know what's our mass component, what's our acceleration. That's our mass. That's our acceleration. Can you put those together?
I feel like I'm stumbling as I try to combine the punches with the weird footwork.
Coordinating all these different pieces of your body and having your body work together as a unit.
That's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
Then we went on to kicks.
Yeah, some Taekwondo experience, and I mentioned that in the chamber, you kind of snap the leg out.
Right.
That's just completely opposite.
Cool. That would hurt.
That would hurt. There you go. In Muay Thai, we're looking at the bottom part of the shin.
This feels so awkward. And kicking with my shin is not the most pleasant experience.
It's pretty good.
My shins are feeling it.
Like imagine there's just like this plane going through the center of the back, and you're just smashing through it. Good. That was
I heard that one.
I proceeded to learn more of the fundamentals, such as the teep, knees, and elbows. The first lesson was basically a rundown of all the basic strikes in Muay Thai, and I was already going home with some very bruised up shins. From there on, I went to some group classes. We would learn a combo or a strike and then practice it with another partner. In my next lesson with Elton, we reviewed the fundamentals from the first day and then went on to pad work. Elton's big on the details, so we hone in why each strike works and how to make them more powerful.
I could already see the weaknesses in my game. The kick still feels a little off. Basically having to deconstruct my knowledge of the Taekwondo kick and relearn the Muay Thai kick. Deconstructing habits in place is often harder than actually learning something new. However, beyond that, my biggest weakness is definitely my punches and my boxing game. Since I'm not used to boxing, I find myself relying too much on my kicks. I'm afraid of getting punched. I'm blinking all the time.
So in the next lesson, we worked on defense. Elton taught me some ways to defend myself against attacks. Then we went on to the clinch and some takedowns. I kinda did it. On day 11, I went to my first sparring class. We sparred pretty lightly, not too much full power, but it was cool to use the techniques I've been learning in class in actual sparring situations.
It was really fun.
To work more on my boxing and getting used to being punched in the face, Elton recommended that I try out this exercise, where one person just keeps punching me as I defend for a full 5 minutes. Thankfully, some people were willing to stay behind class and help me out with this. It's an interesting experience to be punched in the face for a full 20 minutes, and low-key very tiring. On the next day, I asked Trey, y'all remember Trey, right, from my workout video, to do the same thing for me. This is what it looks like to be punched in the face in first-person point of view. Thanks, Trey. The strategy was working out. I was still getting punched in the face, but I was getting a lot more comfortable with giving punches and receiving punches on my end as well.
Muay Thai is very extensive, but since I have a limited amount of time, I'll be focusing more on a subset of skills and also combos that I will hopefully remember in my final fights. I also wanted to take a quick rest from all the punching and kicking to talk about the sponsor of this video, Brilliant. Brilliant has the best interactive courses to learn math, science, and computer science. As you all know by now, I am a big fan of hands-on learning. Brilliant is cool because it replaces lecture videos with intuitive and challenging problem solving. I recently took the search engine course to help me do effective research to create content faster and find more reliable resources to dive into a topic. The course covers the basics of search queries to advanced logic search to reduce the number of queries I have to perform to get the most relevant results results. This is a huge time saver for anything you have to look up online. There's also many other courses as well, from algebra to data science, and they have thousands of lessons in their library, as well as new content added each month. Check out the link below to get started for free. The first 200 people who sign up for the annual premium subscription will get 20% off their order. Thank you, Brilliance. Back to punching.
For the next days, I just kept going to class and trying to use my combos. If you want to hit your opponent, you're going to have to risk getting hit as well. On this day, I got kneed pretty bad. But I mean, Muay Thai is a combat sport. It's all part of the game. My wrist was hurting throughout this challenge, probably because my technique was off and I was just using power. It wouldn't be after the challenge when I realized it was injured. For the final week, I just kept sparring. Jackson here is only 15 years old, but he's very good. It's hard to keep up with his pace. However, I feel a lot better about sparring in general. I at least don't feel totally lost. I'm really liking the teep and the shin track. Obviously things I need to work on, watching out for the catches, still relying too much on kicks, keeping my darn guard up. But while not perfect, I'm able to think a little bit more about strategy beyond just the strikes. Whereas on day one I felt like a fish out of water, now I feel like I can smoothly integrate some of my combos into sparring. We'll see if that holds true on the last day.
So I have 3 more days left of training. The last class/private lesson I have with Elton, and we'll see what he has in store. Did you get that last part?
My very last lesson with Elton, I reviewed all the material, and he ended with some cardio.
All double kicks.
Oh no, double kicks are absolutely no joke. Elton is really pushing my stamina here, prepping me for the fight. Stamina building is often a mental battle. I played sports and soccer my entire life, so I'm pretty used to it. My one concern right now is that I'm starting to feel a little sick, but hopefully I can get over that before the fight.
10 seconds, go. Go.
10 seconds feels like forever.
No effect.
With that, it's only 2 days left. It's my final day of training before fight day. I'm going to be facing off against some of the best fighters in the gym. I've come a long way since the very first day of training for almost 2 hours every day, albeit some injury. I say this for every video, but I'm obviously not a pro, still very much a beginner, but I feel like I've improved a lot in 30 days, and I'm hoping that at least some of my efforts will show on the last day. I've prepped what I can. Here's to whatever happens tomorrow.
You are?
It's because everybody's watching the whole gym. My goal today is just try not to be too embarrassed.
Ready or not, it was time to go. Here goes nothing. Elton has prepared 4 or 5 minute rounds with some of his best fighters. My very first opponent is Spencer. 10 seconds in, well, there goes my second camera. It's quite clear early on that Spencer isn't going 100% on me. This guy's a pro fighter. Whoop, that's a sweep. Not really sure about keeping my guard up, but I'm doing a good job of keeping up the pressure. With that, a really fun round 1 was over. So far, so good. However, I can notice myself already getting tired. But these 5-minute rounds are not a joke. And my next opponent is Jackson, which I know is going to be a little bit more creative with the sparring. We immediately start the next round. Maybe it's because of this cheering hype crowd, where we're all a little bit more higher energy than we were in class. This is a change of pace that I'm not used to in training. Knew Jackson was gonna sweep. He caught me very good there. But what can you do? You just gotta get up and keep fighting. So at this point, I also lost one of my contacts. Fighting half month. Immediately on to round 3. Christine. Christine might be similar size to me, but she is an absolute powerhouse. I've been told, but I learned firsthand just how different it is to use techniques in practice versus in actual fights. Adrenaline is pumping, your heart is racing. Fighting in the ring rather than training is almost another skill in itself. Unfortunately, by now, my stamina is very, very low, and I'm having trouble keeping my guard. But nevertheless, I'm still trying to put in some strikes. Last round. Last 5 minutes. At this point, I really have to dig deep. It's all that I can do to keep on moving. And to be honest, I feel like I'm gonna faint. Possibly one of the hardest moments in my YouTube challenge career. I don't know how, but I'd done it. I was both mentally and physically drained, so it took some time to calm down. But afterwards, we had Elton's recap.
We came out of the ring. I asked her, I was like, hey, how'd it go? How'd you feel? And her initial words, I mean, it's good, but like, I'm disappointed. How many people here have fought before? All right, keep your hands up. How many of you are happy with your first fight? How many people had their first fight in 30 days? Yeah, there you go. Okay, right. So yeah, I think it went really well. I mean, obviously 30 days isn't a lot to work with. From nothing on day 1 to 30 days later, you'll be able to get in the ring, put some stuff together. I think it's really good. She initially emailed me about this. I thought it was such a cool project, a new experience for me and for our coaches and for our gyms. Never tried to take anybody from nothing to something in 30 days. One of the big things that I took away from this for myself, and something that I want to share with the coaches and with the people who train here, she's really developed an approach to learning. I've actually done a lot of reading on how to learn, how to acquire information, how to retain information. Part of the reason why she was able to pick things up faster is she's learned how to learn. That's something that I would encourage you guys to think about. Come to the gym, we do classes, we do coaching, we do training, but there are things that you can do to also help your own learning. Like for example, we took notes on every single class. Every time there was something new, she had a star next to it. It's this whole systematic approach. I would encourage you guys maybe to think about your own learning process. You can do things outside of the gym to get better. That was a big takeaway for me. I've thought about it before and I knew, but it kind of brought it to the surface and realizing that training is a skill. By improving that skill, you can get better at this as well as everything else.
Y'all are awesome. Thank you for holding pads for me, answering my questions, hitting me in the face. Definitely this ecosystem that allowed me to at least show what it did on day 30.
That's a wrap on the recap. What a month. I put in a lot of training hours this month. Training for a couple hours almost every day is no joke. On the very first day, the kick felt awkward. I was hesitant to get punched, and I didn't even know how to properly use wraps. But I do feel like my abilities improved significantly. 30 days later, a lot of that fear has gone away, and I feel a lot more confident in my fighting ability. But there's something I didn't realize would happen during this challenge. It was not only physically demanding, but also a personal mental journey as well. It's not every day where you have to get hit and also hit back. Muay Thai might seem brutal, but the martial arts itself is amazingly beautiful. Muay Thai taught me how to stand my ground with respect and keep clarity of thought along with it. Interestingly, I do feel like I've leveled up as a person on many different levels during this month. Obviously, I still have a long way to go, but that was a very fun and fulfilling challenge, and I hope to continue learning the art of fighting. Huge thank you to Coach Elton for taking the time to teach me throughout the month. If you're in Austin or San Antonio, check out Ambush Muay Thai. You'll be in good hands. If you want to see the behind the scenes of my life, follow me on Instagram. If you want to check out any of my other vids, click here. And if you want to keep up to date with my future challenges, make sure to subscribe below. Until the next video, Kize out.